Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Thanks to Toy Story 4, toys are everywhere. So in today's episode, we want to talk about our top 5 favorite toy-related video games. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Take 7 by Boulevard. It's an American Saison Ale recommended to us by Do You Nerd.
All right, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's talk about some toy-related video games.
Gaming Off the Grid.
All right, here we go. We want to talk about our top 5 favorite toy-related video games because, as you already know, Toy Story 4 is on fire right now.
Oh, yes.
And we're big Toy Story fans.
I love Toy Story, and I just love toys because it brings me back to being a kid and all the nostalgia and stuff. So let's jump into our top 5 with number 5. Hot Wheels Turbo Racing.
Yes, an N64 game that I fondly remember renting and playing with my little brother, and this game is a ton of fun. If you're into arcade racers and like unlocking, secret paths and things
Shortcuts.
like that. Yeah. It is a lot of fun. I do remember renting this when we had a couple friends staying with us and hoping to play 4-player. It's only a 2-player N64 game, which is kind of odd for multiplayer games.
Yeah, it's weird because when you think 64, you think 4-player split screen. So it's only 2-player, which kind of sucks. But it's by Electronic Arts, and it's so sweet. There's so many different cars you can choose from, so many different tracks.
Yeah.
If you just like racing games and you like Hot Wheels, this is a go-to pick.
Yeah, it's a total fun, just arcade racer. Just let your hair down and don't really care about what you're doing. Just have a good time, and you'll enjoy it for sure. Let's move into number 4, and the copy we're going to talk about is actually on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yes. Army Men Sarge's Heroes. This is available on N64, PS1, and Dreamcast, but we have the Dreamcast version, and I think, honestly, the Dreamcast version is the way to go.
It is the premium way to go. It's a midway game. A lot of you have probably heard of the Army Men games, and this one, for whatever reason, has just stood out. We had a ton of fun when we were making this list and when we actually played this game. It has got an awesome story mode. But it's a lot of fun playing multiplayer, and it's up to 4-player.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like a deathmatch.
It's
style.
like a battle royale. Yeah. The story mode is only 1-player, so that kind of sucks. But the 4-player battle royale or fighting or free for all, whatever deathmatch, whatever you want to call it, is so much fun. There's so many different guns you can choose from. You can pick up health. You're playing as freaking Army Men.
Yep.
So it's a sweet freaking game.
And I really like the controls. So anybody who was a fan of GoldenEye and had to master the strafing with the C buttons.
Oh yes.
This is really cool because on Dreamcast anyway, the R trigger locks in your strafe mode. So it's really cool to get your pitch and then strafe side to side shooting. It really took me back. It was a very retro experience, but this game is a ton of fun. And honestly, being on the Dreamcast, the graphics still look really good in this game.
They look really sweet. Like the Army Men, you can see the freaking plastic that they're made out of. That's how good the graphics are.
Tons of fun. I never have actually played the second one of this. I don't know if you have.
No, I haven't either, but I want to.
Yeah, I know there's a version on PS2 that I'd like to pick up. But anyway, Army Men Sarge's Heroes is a ton of fun, and it's got them toys. So yeah, it's a good time. So number 3.
Number 3, this wouldn't be a list without a Toy Story game since this is in honor of Toy Story 4. So Toy Story 3, this game just visually looks beautiful. It plays incredible. It's 1 to 2 players, and it's awesome.
Yeah, so this game is kind of a hodgepodge mixture of different styles. So this game starts out and you're riding via horseback through this canyon, and you are Woody, and then if you're playing 2-player...
Jessie.
Yeah, you're Jessie, and good thing you pulled that out because I almost forgot her name. But anyway, via horseback, it's tons of fun. There's stuff falling, last-minute precision timing. It's a pretty tough 3-dimensional platformer that has open-world elements, because you gotta kind of get to pick and choose which missions you do, and it loosely follows the storyline of the movie.
But then the toy box mode, which is like where all the other missions are and stuff, follows Woody's Roundup, which was introduced in Toy Story 2, the movie. So it's kind of cool how it ties everything together. Yep. Man, there's so many sweet Toy Story games, like Toy Story 2, we played with Hogan at the barbershop. That game is incredible.
Yep.
But I just think Toy Story 3, out of all the Toy Story games, looks the best, plays the best, and is like the most fun, I guess, 2-player.
It's a ton of fun. It's a great game. If you slept on this one, you definitely need to pick it up. We were on the fence because we love Toy Story on the Super Nintendo.
Yes,
it's an awesome platformer, beautiful. And then Toy Story 2 from that barbershop episode you mentioned, and then this, but we ended up going with Toy Story 3 at the end of the day. And side note, on PS3 you can play with Zurg.
Oh yes.
So anyways, let's roll into number 2. Things got really dicey here with the top 2. It was really hard for us to boil this down, but we went off of what was the most fun for us currently to play.
Yes, now number 2 is LittleBigPlanet 2. And the LittleBigPlanet games are so unique.
Yep.
They're so beautiful. The way the art style looks is so freaking cool. The way the camera moves, you could do 1 to 2 players.
They're really strange games to me because I still feel like when I play them, they're ahead of their time. Obviously it's on PS3, but I still don't know that platform gaming has reached the type of style that they were going for.
And there's so much depth you can do. Like, they have like stickers and costumes, and you can customize your character. And then they have use your created levels, so like you don't even have to play the story mode. You can just download levels that other people make and play. I remember doing that growing up in high school. Me and my neighbor played this game all the time, and it was just so much fun. And it's really fun to design your own levels. And what's really cool is this is only a PlayStation 3 exclusive game.
Absolutely. And the good thing about this game that really makes me still like playing the first 2 LittleBigPlanets, I've never gotten to the third one, or is there a fourth one? I don't even know. Yeah, but I've always loved number 2. But the part that makes me keep going back is even when the online stuff disappears, these games are still going to be good because the typical storyline you can go through and beat somewhere between 4 and 8 hours, and they're tons of fun, beautiful games, and you're this little like yarn puppet, and it's just really cool.
I think you're a sack boy, and what's really cool, it's 1 to 2 players, and the second person can come in and drop out whenever they want, and it doesn't affect the story, so it's kind of cool, so you can play it together, and it's like, oh, I gotta piss, so just drop out really quick and I'll keep playing.
Yeah, and there was a couple moments we were doing some editing and stuff, and you're just like, hey, jump in, this will be easier with 2 players, right?
There's certain aspects you can only reach with 2 players because you gotta like work together. It is such a sweet game. Now, before we move on to number 1, let's talk about this beer.
All right, so this was recommended to us by Tom from Do You Nerd. They are in the Missouri area. We did a Boulevard beer, and he's like, hey, it's about time you showed Boulevard some love. Well, I had to kind of correct Tom a little bit because I was like, hey, you know what? We did Plaid Habits, and this might have been before you found our channel.
October.
But to his credit, we have slept on Boulevard a little bit here on the channel. So he recommended Tank 7 by Boulevard. It's a Saison Ale, and I'm going to let you start because I really have a feeling you are enjoying this beer based off what you normally like.
Yes, it's really good. I don't know that much about Saisons. I don't even know what that means. I know it's kind of a hard word to say. It could just be me. But it has a really bitter taste, but it's not an aggressive bitter. Like, it doesn't turn you off of the beer. It's like, ooh, I did not expect that. With the name Tank 7, I thought it was going to be like, a really heavy, aged in bourbon barrels freaking tank. But no, it's kind of an easy drinker. It's a good summer beer. I could see myself grilling with this beer. It'd be freaked. This is delicious.
I think if you are an IPA fan or a stiff ale fan, you will like this. It is very hoppy and very bitter, which you kind of alluded to. As a non-traditional IPA fan myself, I would say this is pretty high on the bitter side, but it's also a very drinkable beer. It's very well balanced. This beer is very chewy. Yes. So minutes after you take a drink of this beer, it's still dancing around on your tongue, and you're still feeling those footprints as it tap dances and cascades its way through the mouth region of your mouth. Does that even make sense? Anyways, this beer I think is really good. Thank you so much, Tom, for bringing this to our attention.
Yes.
We're going to move our way through this upper echelon series that Boulevard has, because there's some other beers we've seen. The quadruple ale, and then there's a barrel-aged stout that we really want to try. But anyway, cheers to Do You Nerd. If you guys haven't checked them out, what the hell are you doing? Go check out their channel. Throw them a sub. You guys won't regret it. Great people and great content.
Now, let's talk about the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1.
Star Wars. Hang on. Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, and the version we were playing is on Xbox 360. It's available on multiple platforms.
Yeah, it's available on PS3, Wii. I just think the Xbox 360 and the PS3 games look better visually. I think the consoles can handle more graphically, I think.
Yep.
This game combines 6 of the iconic Star Wars movies, the original 6, the ones I've seen growing up. Haven't seen any of the other ones that have passed the 6. Don't know why, but I love Star Wars, and it's so cool because it includes so many games that were already released, so like the bundle, and just, it's so worth the price.
It's such a fun game. The co-op element is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
The story is just kind of like, kind of watching the movies, so to speak. It's awesome seeing it come to life.
Movies, yeah.
And you're way into collect-a-thon type games. So this game for you, you're like all about like, hey, let's get everything, which is a ton of fun.
You gotta find all the coins, you gotta find all the mini kits. What's really cool about this game too is there's a story mode, which is you unlock as you play, but then there's free play. So you can go back and play levels once you've unlocked different characters. And what's really cool is there's parts and levels you can't access unless you're in free play mode.
And then you go back to free play when you unlock that character.
Yeah,
right?
and sometimes you don't unlock that character till way later on. So like it's like, oh, you need a bounty hunter for this, or you need R2-D2. Good luck, you gotta find him first. And then it offers like other extra things you can buy with your coins. I know there's like a coin magnet, there's like a coin multiplier, which is super handy. But you gotta find the brick that unlocks that in one of the levels. So this game has a lot of depth. It looks so freaking sweet, and I remember playing this game growing up so much. So I have so much nostalgia to this game.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those games, I feel like the Lego franchise has become a little oversaturated, maybe a little overplayed. But if you haven't dove into this, or the realm of Lego games, they're a ton of fun, and this one is the creme de la creme. This game is so freaking awesome. It's a ton of fun. You mentioned the graphic disparity between the PS3, 360, and the Wii. So PS3 and 360, the textures are just dialed in. The game looks as good as I feel like it possibly could. The Wii is a ton of fun. We have it on the Wii just because it's fun to be able to use the lightsabers with the Wiimotes. So I think that's a fun way to play it. But the visuals, and it's a Lego game, and we're talking about visuals, on the 360 and PS3 are just so good.
They just
so
pop. They pop so much. And what's really cool about this entire list is I think these games are perfect family games.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
if you have young kids, these games aren't that hard. I mean, there are hard parts, but you can easily like play with your son or play with your nephew or play with like a young kid, and they'll enjoy it as much as you do.
You guys got to check these games out. Toy Story 4 is on fire. That would be a great family experience as well. Such a great movie.
It's so good.
We're just tying everything together here on Gaming Off the Grid. Hey, by the way, we have some merchandise available over at TeePublic. If you haven't checked that out, there will be a link in the description below. We always appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Keep gaming, keep drinking. We'll see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
Is that it?
I think that's probably
that was it. Face.
Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here all across the globe. Okay.
The snow globes. But it's fucking there. It's fucking there. Okay.